Nokia Arena. Jubilation for Austria, and what a tough way to lose this one for Hungary, as Hungary, after coming up to the top level for the first time since 2016, a short stay as they are heading back down. This is the third time that's happened to them now, 1940, 2016, and now 2023, one and done. As we welcome you back one final time here on day number 11 at the Men's Worlds preliminary round, winding down. Tomorrow is the last day. So for Austria, again, it's kind of like the comeback kids, back against the wall. We've spoken about it already and what happened last year when they were down 3-1 in the third, had a huge third period to get the win and to avoid relegation. Same thing coming here today, but man, that shootout was exciting. And Bernard Starkbaum, we said, kind of got a little practice there in the overtime, and he came up huge for his team.
He really did. He didn't allow a goal against. And if you got a goaltender that's going to shut it down in the shootout, then you only need a couple of guys to score. And that's exactly what Austria did. Manuel Ganal scores. He's the first shooter. This is one of the best moves I've seen, definitely in this tournament. He almost pulled himself down on the ice, but he manages to put it in. And then it's Dominic Heinrich comes in. He's looking at the puck, stick handling, flatten it down, and Balzies isn't really sure. What are you going to do here? Where are you going with it? And just a little quick flick of the wrist, up over the glove. That's all they needed. That was the eventual game winner, because the final shooter couldn't score twice for Hungary, and that is your game-winning goal in the shootout. I hate it when they go to shootouts for something like this. But you had to, because there was only one shot, one really good scoring opportunity for both teams in the overtime.
We could have just kept doing overtime. We'd be here until...
We'd still be here.
In any event, okay. Well, for Hungary, you know, they started that second period off with a 3-1 lead, and you're looking, uh-oh, Austria, you're in trouble. They hadn't scored more than 3 goals in a single game at this tournament. The offense, though, coming alive, Dave, at just the right time as well. Hungary
had a roll going. They were scoring at the right time. They had the momentum going. And Austria, much like last year when they got down 2 to Great Britain in this exact same situation, exact same game, they stayed with it. And they managed to get a little bit of a lucky bounce as they tapped this one in. There's a little bit of a scramble in front of the net. And Stephen Strong comes in, gives a little poke and pops it out, frees it, and then bangs it in. Now, Strong's a defenseman. He came a long way to put that one in. And then on the power play, Hungary once again gets caught shorthanded, and there's no missing on that one. Lucas Howden goes high, and here's the stop that we're talking about. That's an unbelievable stop by Starkbaum. Esteban Safran had 2 goals in the game, was player of the game, was one of the top 3 players for Hungary, gets stopped in what would have been his hat trick, which would have been the goal that moved Hungary on. But Starkbaum, if you're going to make one save in the tournament, that is the time to do it. That was a tremendous stop. 4 straight tournaments now, if you include next year, in Czechia for Austria in the top level. That's the longest stretch that they've had in almost 2 decades, in almost 20 years. And yes, lots of smiles for both the Austrian players and their fans in the crowd, and the crowd saluting the players for all their hard work. Again, just one win in the tournament came on the final game, final day for them of the preliminary round, and the one that they needed to win to stay up in the top group. And you know, you've got someone like Marco Rossi, this young kid who's just getting his career started. You know, he had a couple of standout seasons in the AHL. To be a part of this and to have the pride that goes with it, you know, that could go a long way with his confidence moving forward in the NHL as well. Absolutely. I'm sure Bill Guerin and the Minnesota Wild are quite happy that he took on a very big role as a top center on this team. And you got to remember, he also battled some COVID issues and really was out of the game for well over a year and a bit. And he's come back, and like you said, a great year in the American Hockey League. It was a dominant player in the Ontario Hockey League. And these are the type of tournaments, and that's the type of player that can springboard this into next year. It could give you a good positive summer. You can get into some good training, and then you get back in the National Hockey League. And the last thing you remember is having a good World Championship tournament and the excitement and the fun that tournament brought. So Marco Rossi, that was a beautiful goal he got, end-to-end rush. And looking forward to seeing him in the National Hockey League in the years to come.